Buck Wild is a weasel who lost an eye to a large albino dinosaur. He lives in a large underground cave, which is home to a whole population of dinosaurs that survived the meteor that killed the dinosaurs we know and love. And he's a sort of swashbuckling, adventurous weasel. He's a bit of a loner. He has, I would say, a thin grip on reality. He tends to talk to a lot of inanimate objects. He didn't have many friends, certainly in the initial stages of his time down there, although he's made a few since, not least in the Ice Age herd, who he joined in Dawn of the Dinosaurs and Collision Course, but also, as we learn in the new movie, The Ice Age Adventures of Buck Wild, a Zorilla called Z and some dinosaur friends with whom he formed a sort of superhero team to keep peace and harmony in the Lost World. Unfortunately, there was an incident, and he's found himself alone again, living with his daughter, who is a pumpkin, called Bronwyn, in his little pad in the Lost World, which is interrupted by Crash and Eddie, who decide to come back and join their old pal, which is the beginnings of our movie. I love playing Buck, just because he's such an energetic character. He's so positive and funny, and he is an absolute riot to play. I think any actor wants to play characters who are sort of interesting and invigorating to perform, and Buck is very much that. He's just 100% energy all the time, and I love it. I love playing him, and it was a thrill to get the opportunity to play him in a more sort of main stage capacity. Oh, well, I mean, that's not for me to say, is it? I mean, hopefully it's because he is a very watchable and entertaining character. I think there's something about Buck's sort of drive and his enthusiasm and his loyalty and his devotion to his new friends that kind of make him fun. He's also utterly sort of crazy in that he has spent a long time on his own. So he's developed relationships with inanimate things and plants. And he has a pterodactyl who he rides around, which is kind of sweet. I think he's just a bit irresistible, Buck. He certainly is for me. I love to play him. And it's lovely when you hear from people that they feel the same way about him. He's just a lovable weasel. Well, the great thing about this new adventure is that we return to the realm of the Lost World, which is this vast underground cavern which is home to a population of hitherto extinct dinosaurs. It's as if they somehow managed to avoid the big asteroid that ended the reign of the dinosaurs. And in this world is preserved this prehistoric sort of Eden, in which Buck initially is the only mammal. In the new film, Crash and Eddie, the possums that we first met in Ice Age: The Meltdown, decide they want to leave their own herd and their sister, Ellie, their adoptive sister, and perhaps branch out on their own, which is a thing I think a lot of people can relate to, a lot of young adults can relate to. But it's not always easy to do. Sometimes, you feel like maybe the people you leave behind are going to feel a little bit lost, or maybe you're going to feel a little bit lost. So this film is really about leaving home. And Crash and Eddie decide to return to the Lost World and meet up with their old pal Buck for an adventure, which you have to see to believe. I think all the Ice Age movies are very different, but the core sort of beliefs of Ice Age, the idea of family, the idea of cooperation and harmony, they persist. This film, as I say, takes us back to the Lost World and focuses particularly on Crash, Eddie, Buck, and some new characters in Z, who is sort of Buck's female counterpart in a way. She is another very resourceful, very courageous, very adventurous young mammal. A little bit more sort of sane, I think, than Buck. And, thank goodness for that, because she forms his kind of, his anchor to reality, and their friendship is very important in the movie. But the overall theme, as always, is that of family and how we navigate family. how our families can be made up of people who seem extremely different, almost a different species at times. I know parents of teenagers that can often feel that way, and I'm sure teenagers do too. So it's another look at the dynamic of the family, but in a whole new adventure, a new story, and with some great new characters. I think with this one, as I say, at a time when we've all been very cooped up because of the pandemic, and often, been with the people we love more than we usually would. This film is all about what it's like to feel like you want to escape those sort of those structures that you've been living in, and how it feels for the people that are leaving, and how it feels for the people that are left behind. It's a timely message, I think, and it basically saying that it's okay to feel that way. It doesn't mean you don't love the people that you live with. It just means sometimes you want to branch out on your own. I think another message is that it's okay to ask for help. I mean, Buck is someone who is resolutely a loner and sometimes thinks that he has to do everything by himself. And I think it's a good thing to be able to say to your friends, do you know what? I might need some help with this, or maybe we can do this together. Those things are important. And I think particularly for young people who feel like they can't ask for help. That seems like a huge kind of heavy thing, but it's done with such a lightness of touch. It really, I think, sings in this movie. Well, it's wonderful that Disney are now curating this series of films, and what a great place for them to be. You can see the whole of the Ice Age story, all 20 years of it, on Disney Plus now, and it's wonderful to have a sort of one-stop shop for all your Ice Age needs. I hope it goes on. I'm not sure if what the plans are. I can't confirm or deny anything, but it seems to me Ice Age has found a wonderful home, and I don't see as the reason why there wouldn't be 20 more years.